I just had this sense that Mac Jones was a perfect marriage with New England. But part of it also, as you know, is I root for storylines too. Because that's what we do here on this show. That's what I do at NFL Network. About to start my 19th season with NFL Network.
Hey, Rich, congrats.
Thank you, sir. And
19 seasons.
yeah,
Wow.
it's like, 2003, right?
Yeah,
so
2003.
That counts as a season,
That
and so
counts.
does 2021.
That counts.
So there's lots going on as we're about to celebrate our 18th anniversary there. And I look at storylines. The NFL is a narrative-generating machine. And so there are storylines within a game. There are storylines week to week. And then there are storylines for the entire arc of a season. For me, the storyline arc of the 2021 season that not only involves somebody very famous and a team that's very successful, but it also drags in so many other storylines into the arc. And so the 2021 NFL season storyline arc, number one, is Tom Brady. All right? Not many more times on this beautiful planet of ours will we see a 44-year-old defending Super Bowl MVP quarterback take the field to try and go back-to-back for the second time in his career to give him 8. Right? And that's just the wins and losses part of it, but it's also how he did it that has affected so many other places, that he left a spot after 20 years and tried something new for the first time. An old dog trying some new tricks. And I say the words old dog with respect, Tom. An advancing aged dog learning new tricks, right? And that caused other quarterbacks, I think, to start thinking, hey, the way I've done it for a long time, maybe that's not the only way to do it. Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson, Matthew Stafford, right? That's maybe part of their process. And also a little bit tinge of, shall we say, jealousy. I'm trying it in my spot for this long, and, you know, do I have everything catered to my needs in terms of my personal choices within the building? Certainly personal choices within the building for a roster, teammates. Is everything basically like trying to win now for me, or they're looking over the steering wheel about who's next? So that's why that storyline is so huge. And now we've got a new aspect of this storyline. Tom Brady's old stomping grounds. We finally now know who is the person who is the long-term answer in New England's plans. Didn't have it last year, obviously. Didn't have it last year. We were wondering last year how this would play out in New England without Brady. And clearly the horses around the rest of that team were not there in order to compete at the level what they've been used to competing for the previous 2 decades. And it also confirmed a lot of Brady's thoughts about can he still win there? And he goes off to another spot and wins there in his first shot with a whole roster full of Pro Bowl talented people. Leaving New England in what? A lurch? Crossroads? However you want to put it, big offseason for New England, and their response was to go on a spending spree in free agency like we've never seen them do before.
Yep.
And then do what they had not done since Drew Bledsoe, which is choose a quarterback in the first round of a draft. And Belichick uses his first-round selection on a quarterback who's now his starting quarterback. And a kid who looked like a starting quarterback the minute he came out of the green room, like Vince McMahon entering the arena, grabbing the hat in full stride, popping it on. And who knew at the time, as we were all having fun with that video, it was kind of a metaphor of how he's approaching things. Standing up straight, shoulders back, head held up high, and striding out. And boy, is he striding down a spot. Look, you never want to be the guy after the guy. You never want to be the guy after the guy. You'd rather be the guy who's after the guy who was after the guy. That's just the way it needs to be in the world. It's very tough that the guy after the guy succeeds. That's why you could count on the number of one hand about Aaron Rodgers, right? I mean, the Broncos were looking for the next Elway until they found Peyton Manning, and they're still looking for their next Elway, looking for their next Marino, as we all know, in Miami. It's so tough to be the guy right after the guy and succeed. It's so rare. In any walk of life, in any business, you'd rather be the guy who's after the guy who attempted to be the guy after the guy. That's it.
I ain't the man sitting next to the man.
Mac Jones is in that position. But we all know he's the guy after Brady. How will that work out? How will that work out with Bill raising another young pup? With Brady, the defending Super Bowl champ, elsewhere, and doing it in his first year elsewhere. And OMG, Week 4, Sunday Night Football. Brady's return to New England. TB12 back in town. And MJ10. Wearing Brady's college number, trying to win for New England. And let's just say, Chris, as you pointed out last hour, you think the Dolphins are a pushover and the Jets are a pushover, and then the Saints are coming in after being on the road pretty much every single day since Hurricane Ida blew into town. Saints come on the road. They've been on the road. They haven't been home. Wondering what their home looks like because they haven't been back. I mean, I know I'm talking football here, but there's real life stuff involved.
And that's obviously terrible.
What if they're 3-0 going into that game?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, my gosh.
It'd be the most watched Sunday night game ever.
What a storyline. Because, again, we now have the answer as to what is the plan in New England post-Brady. It's draft a kid from Saban's program, a self-made kid, just like Tom Brady. Not very recruited. We're not going to be talking about, Mac Jones's combine body.
Well, he has that picture of him with his shirt off, and he looks terrible.
It's very similar. And, of course, we always kind of look for those similarities, even though it might be quite dissimilar in many other ways. But this is it. This is the end game scenario. Well, if it doesn't work out, can they move on in another direction in 2 or 3 years? Of course. But this is the first and, in their minds, best and hopefully long-term answer. What next after Brady? Last year was just a throw it out. This is the year. And how will New England do? How will Tampa do? And, of course, how will they do against each other on one night on NBC in October? Can't wait. Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.